Howdy guys, how's it going? So we are out for another camp tonight. Brought the four-wheeler out here with some gear because we are coming back to revisit this campsite right here. As you can see, last night we had some really strong winds, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted to come back to this location. One, just to check on it, and it looks like we just had one stake come out of the ground, but everything else seems to be in really good shape because this right here will tension right back up after we get that. Also, haven't got a chance to actually come and get this wood stove. So this wood stove has been out as long as, well, I mean, this wood stove has been out here in the mountain for a hot minute. But as far as like out in the elements, ever since we, initially took down that bale tent and put up this 10 ply, whatever it's called, canvas shelter. And this winter well stove is it looks the same as whenever I first put it here. But when I first come out, I had forgot to bring a strap that would properly secure it to the front. And for this video, because actually rifle season is now extended for me all the way till January 3rd. So definitely going to have more hunting content coming out ASAP. But I thought that with this kind of setup, it actually suits purpose of a hunter's camp. So, for the sake of the YouTube video title, we'll probably just call this a hunter's camp for this video. But yeah, this tent's been out here for well over a month. We've been getting temps down into the 20s and with wind chill down into the low teens. Tons of rain. Even a little bit of snow and freezing rain, and from the outside it actually looks way better than I thought it would continue to look being canvas. I'll pull this back out, and then we will have to go back around and adjust our guy out points. But yeah, we've also got rain and stuff too, so the ground's really soft, which is why that has got pulled out of the ground. And then also too, undoubtedly, with the temperature changes and just the weather it's been experiencing, with it being canvas, it's stretched and stuff is pretty much all materials, natural or synthetic, will do. But still have the sleeping pad in here that we brought down here, the stuff in there like that, which should just be let's just open it up and see. And like most of this right here is like backsplash from whenever it was raining hard and hitting the ground. Mesh still looks good. Oh, and then coming to the inside, so like the leaf debris and stuff that's in here, as you can see, this thing doesn't have a fully connected floor. But I've also got that ogre light right there, so I'm curious with the temps we've had, if the battery is still holding the charge because it's not been charged. But yeah, we didn't have to bring out an air pad. We just got some luxuries. Because tonight, it is currently, I don't know, about 39 degrees. Like right now, I am just wearing an everyday wool t-shirt, that JJ's Rapture insulated jacket, and then the Helicon Tex Pilgrim anorak, and that was perfectly comfortable riding the four-wheeler. I had on those thick gloves before I took them off to turn the camera on. And then in our extremely large pack, there's only like 4 or 5 things, so I didn't bring out like the whole kitchen sink. And then in this pack, we have just got things like our food, pillow, just all of our random small bits. I always have the IFAK because it is hunting season. And again, with that theme, brought out the rifle, but since it is still rifle season, if I was to see a big doe, I'm not actively hunting at the moment and have no real plans or intentions to get anything. But if I was out and decided to go off and scout a bit and seen a big doe, then you better bet you sweet tea that I would bag it, and then this would turn into a whole different type of video. But also just want, continue to take and bring this thing out and put it through its paces. Still like currently running it dirty to test it out and seeing if that rear sight issue with the vibrations of riding on the four-wheeler and everything, if that gives me any more trouble. That's what we're doing. Don't have a ton in terms of setup because our shelter system is already in place. Not gonna get the sleeping bag out till later, until we, it's about time to bed down. The other thing is right now, it's fairly dry. Again, the ground is wet, but everything, it's been windy. Stuff's dried out quick, and we're getting just these occasional bits of just gusty winds. So not gonna have a fire. We got a stove with us, and I brought a heater with me. Just, I had the room, might as well just go for a bit of comfort, because even though this tent right here does have, I do got to tension this stuff up still, it does have a stove jack right there, if you can see that. This stove right here, way too big for a tent like this. I had to bring one of my compact backpacking stoves in order to take advantage of that. But in my opinion, it's just, well, I mean, I know for a fact it's just not going to be that cold. I don't like to use a stove in a tent until it starts to get down to at least 28 and below, but preferably in the low 20s, because other than that, I just end up being uncomfortable. Because yeah, the first thing that I want to get to is my chair. But also too, that right there, that's that Outdoor Vitals fleece. So whenever we do inevitably need to add a little bit of warmth to our layers here, we can. Got 1.5 of water there. Got our chair. And then really the thing, I got my sleeping bag at the bottom, but one thing that's taking up a lot of space is just this box, which is why I decided to bring out this pack. This is the heater that I wanted to try out. So this is a portable gas heater. It's made by Hot Devil. You can see right there. And with these, I'm trying to keep more of my stuff in the boxes, especially stuff like this for my gear shed, because it's just extremely unorganized, which might constantly end up misplacing things. But also too, I don't think it's good with these type of accoutrements to have them just rumbling around, because things around the valves and everything can get damaged. But never used one that's like this, so whenever we're just sitting down and chilling since we can have a fire, I think this will be nice, especially because I don't have any long johns on or nothing for my legs, which my legs are normally good in and around freezing. So you'll leave the sleeping bag in there, just got the propane, and then just a few little random doodads about. The one thing I was sad is the zipper on this chair bag broke on me. So unfortunately I can't get it in its most compact form factor, but I mean it's pretty much the same regardless. And whenever weight is not an issue, this is my favorite chair too. Well, let me say, whenever weight and size is not an issue, I have a larger one that I like to bring, but as far as these compact ones goes, as far as the compact ones go, this is one of my favorites, just because of how easy it is to deploy the legs, and like that you're set. And roll this back. Adjust these guy lines a bit. That right there is honestly pretty dang solid. It's bedded down underneath their pad there. And you know, I kind of figured that pad would be completely flat. It's definitely lost, I would say, 60%, 50 to 60% of its air. Just being here, you know, with the temp flux, and just all air pads will slowly over time go down. But that's actually done very well. And so hopefully this video doesn't end up being extremely boring for you. We'll be doing, now that the cold's actually here, we'll be doing a lot of actual bushcraft and survival stuff. Just mixing everything in with hunting season. But here's what I'm curious about now is, okay, well that right there is extremely surprising. So right there, before it goes away or while it's on that mode, it has been here and not charged, and we used it on that camp that we did, you know, over a month ago. And that right there is still showing 4 lights, which means that it's somewhere between 75 and 100% still charged. So this is going to be very nice, because I'd like to use the camera y'all are currently viewing me from for the majority of the filming, just because it makes editing a lot easier. And it gets dark pretty dang soon. Like it gets dark at dark at 5:30, and then you know y'all are looking at me through the DJI Action 5 Pro, or however they classified it. But it's supposed to have one of the best nighttime sensors, and so far I've been impressed with how it's done compared to like the GoPros I've had before. I think that in combination with this, we'll be good to go. And it also has some string lights with me that we may or may not get out and utilize, just depending on how we're feeling. I will say this, I don't know if you can see the color, but like my hands are definitely getting cold just from moving around and doing things that we're doing. I'll probably wear my leather gloves for the majority of it, because all I have left with me, the only other pair of gloves I have with me is these like really thick warm ones, which to be as thick as they are, have pretty dang good dexterity, but still makes it pretty difficult to do any finer task, you know. And then too, before it gets dark, I wanted to get this out because, again, we're not relying on this for warmth by any means. Something else that I have with me, you guys know, if you've been around, the videos where I remember to bring it is these little temperature sensors. And I've had 2 of these for a long time, but I couldn't find the other one. I got both of them with me today. So I'm going to have one of these outside so that we can see the outside temp, and then I think I'm going to throw one of these in my sleeping bag, and then we'll just kind of see what the temperature difference is. But back to this. Let's see, we should be able to pull this out one-handed. So There we go. We still got those here from our big wall tent. Got a base for our propane. And then yeah, that's the little unit, and it's just got that neck on it. You can't really move it around. It's just got that one, which is kind of perfect, you know, if you're sitting down or whatever. But actually, the main reason why I wanted to get this was for whenever I bring deer back and am cleaning them, and it's really cold outside, because regardless of if you're wearing latex gloves or even if you have like insulated cleaning gloves, you know, when it's in the low 20s or even teens, your fingers are going to get cold processing deer meat outside. So being able to take and have something like this and set it up while you're cleaning the deer, so you can just walk over and warm your fingertips, I think that will be the primary thing this right here gets used for. So I'm sure y'all will see that in another hunting video or two if we end up bagging some more this season. So okay, but I just realized I did goof on something. I did not realize that this thing needed batteries. I had opened this. I got it, you know, even before it got cold. So I took it out of the box, but I didn't even think about that for it having the ignition, which is not a big deal. We got a lighter on us, so we can just start her manually. But it does have, you know, an electric ignition. That's something on here that we will not be able to test out. And then it looked like this Blue Fire might be the same parent company or subsidiary, one of these or the other, or just because like these was like typically bought together. So got the Blue Fire. These canisters are pretty much the same, but if you see a different label, that's like Blue Fire is just the. I just want to point that out because Blue Fire is not a special type of propane. It's just the brand name, because I know if I seen that I'd be wondering it myself. First things first, let's see about this base. One of the things that I'm most excited about with this is actually having this base, because I've got one or two other types of gadgets that use these propane cylinders that, for whatever reason, did not come with any type of base for your canister to sit in. So that's something that's probably, this base is going to get shared with other pieces of gear over time for sure. Try to keep track of that cap as well. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm rushing. I just wanted to get this portion. I wanted to show you guys this before it got dark and we had to start screwing with lights. So it doesn't seem to be any type of protective covering on on this that we got to remove. Cross thread it. It felt like it was on the off position, the old righty-tighty. Okay, yep, that is correct. So is start it manually. Okay, something's burning. Turned red already. It's on extremely low right now, but already putting off a nice little chunk of heat. The base actually seems really sturdy. Okay, so right now, again, we got it on extremely low and just sitting here warming our fingers up. That's pretty nice. So taking and turning it up a little bit, you can probably hear it. Well, actually, you probably can't because I got the mic on me, but just, you know, give it that initial burn. And apparently this thing cranks up extremely high. Like, I don't have a great understanding of BTUs, but I believe it's listed for up to 8,520. If there's a Hank Hill in the audience, feel free to put, you know, share anything you'd like to share in the comment section. Pretty nifty. Okay, I guess halfway through, yeah, I got sunglasses on sometimes, so it's not even as dark as I thought it was. Not sure if that popping sound is going to be all the time, or if that's just where it's new and heating up. But yeah, I think this is a really cool design overall. I feel like I never had seen these anywhere for like a long time. I mean, I'm 26 years old and been into outdoor stuff and hunting ever since I was well into the single digits. And, you know, I remember I got one of the Coleman stoves. That's one of the things I was talking about. It'd be nice to have a base for. But I see this heater coming in handy for a lot of other things too. And probably being commandeered and taken along on trips whenever I take certain family or friends out, because especially the cold-natured ones. Again, this is not like a product promotion or nothing. It's like I can even feel, you know, like you have your dish here that directs your heat, but like in and around, it really does kind of push it in your vicinity. So like even my legs and stuff, I can feel it the heat in this area. So alrighty, I'm going to just kind of go through my stuff and see what all how I want to go about and decide on how I want to set everything up, and we'll just kind of see how the temperature fluctuation goes. I appreciate you guys coming along for it thus far. Alrighty guys, so it is about 8 o'clock and we are sitting at pretty much exactly 32 degrees, and still with just the Raptor jacket and you know, having the smock on over it, or the anorak I should say, you know, doesn't really, the anorak doesn't add a ton, but that is just another layer of dead airspace to kind of help insulate. It's been really calm, luckily. I mean, it's not been breezy. I mean, really with a area of the ground cleared out, could have very safely have a fire right now, but I just don't want to get one going and risk having the wind catch up at the moment. There's not like an official fire ban, but you know, it's just we don't really need it, but still might take and put that fleece on. My legs and stuff are still fine. Again, like I know for a fact that they're good down to about 30 with just no long johns or nothing, just having pants on. Plus this you know, having this heater has been very, very nice. I did turn it off for a bit, but I mean, again, now that it's dark and we are right at freezing, without just keeping gloves on, it's nice to have this here. And too, with these chairs, it's kind of the perfect angle. Light's still working good. It's holding the charge extremely well. I want to turn this thing up higher just to kind of see. Again, I hope that sound isn't overpowering everything. This bad boy definitely cranks out the heat. Let's not burn that. Need to get a few things out of here. I've been drinking out the other bottle over there. There's our canteen pouch. I have some Bushcraft campfire coffee. We're definitely going to have a cup of that. I think the last time that I used my tea bags out of here, I forgot to replace them because I just forgot to replace them. So we're definitely going to have some coffee. I took and eat a large, like I brought a freeze-dried meal. I eat a very large meal, before heading out. So I'm still really not that hungry. There's our pillow. That right there is our stove and fuel. There's a strap for taking that other stove back. There is me bogging. There we go. Oh yeah, got a snug pack bivvy. This is gonna be coming on a lot of bushcraft camps, but since I brought the Vertex Montana bag, definitely don't need a bivvy. But since I hadn't visited this shelter in about 2 weeks, I think I've checked on it. It's been here, I think, a month and a half, 2 months, and because I hadn't been here to check on it in at least 2 weeks, you know, I didn't know kind of exactly how it would be. So I've got the snug pack Special Forces bivvy to go over our sleeping bag, and then that way, if this was to leak for whatever reason, our sleeping bag would be fine. Still got my orange hunting vest in there. Got my Camry. Got my some extra camera batteries, power bank, all that stuff. Got another thing of water. What else do I got? It's got the if I can get a hold of it, the freeze-dried food in here. I'll grab that in a second. All these straps has got wrapped around this other bag here. And yeah, so I mean, we are sitting pretty. I don't think I'll mess with other string lights tonight. There's just really no reason, because we got that, and that thing is just absolutely killing it. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Be having all of that, honestly. And like picking it up, it seems to be doing pretty good on fuel. So again, out of all the videos, in case this is the very first one you've seen and you've decided to stick around this far, I mean, this is actually a very chilled, relaxed camp, but I mean, I'm out here doing it, so still worth making a video. And a good chance to continue to test out the gear that we've had set up and been using, along with this little stove thing, right, or, you know, heater thing right here. Because I have one of the, I had a Coleman heater that, for whatever reason, I bought it at a Coleman outlet when I was like 12, just because I seen it, I thought it was cool. I had, you know, saved up an allowance or whatever, and it was like 50 bucks, and I bought it. And I still have it, but it's like flat, but it doesn't have like a grate on it to where you could like use it for cooking or anything. It's just like a heater, and it works. It still works good, but all the heat just goes straight up. And it's like, unless you're just holding your hands on it or using it to heat a space with proper ventilation, it's kind of pointless. I really do like this because it has directional heat versus all the heat just immediately just going up and out. See, I'm going to take and figure out where we want to place our stove, and then we can get some water going and have a cup of coffee. Okay, so right here, I've got the little Primus stove. This is a can of fuel that is pretty much empty, very close to empty, that I've just been trying to finish out for a long time. I don't even know if it's still got pressure to it. It might not, but I brought along that other little fuel thing because I'm gonna use this for coffee. I mean, I'm being serious. If I don't get hungry within, by the time it's time to go to bed, I'll probably just eat like a protein bar, and then we'll just have our meal for breakfast because I'm just really not feeling it. We didn't do any real hiking. We didn't have to go through the rigmarole of setting the shelter up, so we've just been kind of stationary, sedentary, just sitting and chilling out here. So I just haven't worked up an appetite. Okay. Gas canister still got it. Yeah, this Bushcraft Campfire Coffee. I've only got like 2 or 3 of these left, and it's been a while since I've had them, but they're pretty good. It's like the tea bag style coffee there. You can see pretty simple, straightforward. If you ever made tea with a tea bag, same thing, but in coffee form. Right there is already getting bubbles going, and we don't even have this thing cranked up at all. Okay, and she's boiling. Let's see if I can touch that with my hand. Okay, good to go. Set that to the side. Right there is our tea bag. Just drop that in there. Let it steep for a bit and cool down. Since it is freezing, it'll be a good time to use my homemade cozy, which I am still just amazed and bewildered at the fact this thing is still going strong, considering how quick and easy it was to make. One of them old windshield insulation panel things, and Gorilla Tape. Alrighty, let's see. It's still pretty hot. Yeah, we're getting, it looked like we was getting about close to, we're getting closer to 30 degrees. It's like 31. Nothing like a hot drink. I do hate though that I didn't, I forgot to check to make sure I had tea in there. I could have swore I did, but it was actually just some extra electrolyte drink mixes that are the same shape as tea bags. That's what, I guess, what threw me off the last time I checked in there. Well, yeah, guys, I'm gonna take and finish sipping on my coffee here and hanging out by this thing, and then we'll take and get our gear set inside of there and work on getting our sleep system put together. Probably we'll take and get our loft, get our sleeping bag set up and loft in. Where it's synthetic, it'll loft up fairly quickly in comparison to a down bag. I promise we'll do more stuff, more interesting stuff in the morning, like make our food and everything. And then I got another thing of this coffee. Just genuinely not hungry at the moment. And I think we are going to have to put that Outdoor Vitals fleece on, just because our sleeping bag is good down to, its comfort rating I think is like 15 or 18 degrees, and then its extreme rating is like 5. Like it says even lower, like negative something, but like realistically and with everything. But this Raptor jacket with just a t-shirt on under it, and then just having like an outer wind and water repellent layer around 30 degrees. Like if I wouldn't buy this heater right now, I'd be getting cold for sure. So yeah. Alrighty, so yeah, I just took and eat a Gatorade protein bar, but we need to kind of reinflate our sleeping pad a bit here, and then we'll get our sleeping bag out and fluffing up. I do have our heater kind of right here. It's not even in line, as you can see, with, and actually, I'm gonna go ahead and just do that. Like having it just shoot some heat in here with this whole front and stuff open, we're completely fine. Not my personal advice, or I'll be fine. So we got that. This thing has that built-in foot pump down there, so we'll just take and inflate her that way. Just again, this thing has got more air in it than I thought it would. It does need a bit of re-upping. Okay, so got that done. The foot inflator thing was a little bit janked up, but it's all good. And this thing wasn't even anywhere near fully compressed. Thing has a really nice small form factor. I will say, like touching this outside silky material, you can really feel where the cold is sunk into it. An absolutely beautiful bag. And then before I forget, because it's not part of my usual common routine, here we got our Snug Pack Special Forces bivvy. It's center zip. This bag is center zip, and I decided whenever I was having this come out, I wanted it in the brown. I feel like every time I see it, I've only ever seen it in green, and I pretty much never see anybody in the US use or have one. So I just thought it'd be a cool, unique piece of gear to start testing for myself and sharing with you guys. And like, we're definitely gonna do just some straight up bivvy camps with just sleeping bag and this. And I actually have slept in this though. Like I've not used it outdoors, but I put this on a sleeping bag I used a Woobie in it and slept with it on my bed just to kind of get a feel for the material and stuff like that. Here is the base of it. And in this way, if we have any moisture or anything that does end up coming inside, we'll just know we ain't got nothing to worry about. And overall, that actually looks very, very swanky. Go ahead and pull our hood down a little bit here, so that it's kind of somewhat adjusted. And then finally, this is our pillow. Don't need much incline at all. This doesn't inflate. This is just a ultralight alpine camp travel. It's a down pillow. You can definitely fluff it up, but I like this one because where it's down and it's compact, it's just kind of the right amount to fit inside the hood of one of these, you know, like winter, this Vertex bag in particular, to fill up that head space where her head is, but her mouth and nose is still going to be, you know, sticking out of the bag. So then, yeah, right there, that is a look at what we got. So here is the bivvy, obviously, center zip down to about right there, and then, you know, our Vertex Montana bag. Our rifle right here on our foam pad, and that's pretty much where that'll stay. And also too, because it is, you know, there's a chance of rain, we will put our gear, might just, I don't know which end I'll put it on, maybe down there, but I do need to get my gear in, so I'll do that and get back with you guys whenever it is time to hit the hay. Alrighty, so we are in the tent. We got all our stuff, got our pack, got the stove put away over there in the corner. Got that space down there, but with all of the storage bags and stuff, and where that's slightly elevated due to the way we had to do it, it is what it is. Still tons of space back there. I could put that chair over there, but I kind of like having that pushing that doorway away from us. And then yeah, I can still access all my bags if I needed to. That's our light. And then my gun is right underneath y'all. Now, I'm glad I remembered. Here's our temperature sensor. So we got that we can put in our sleeping bag, and we'll look at the temperatures, like right when I get in, it doesn't really matter, but we'll look at the temperatures, maybe compare from like 1 a.m. to whenever we get up. I think that's a pretty good, you know, metric to look at, but I'll set that aside for now. We'll just get our boots off here. Oh. Them back there. One thing I do know that I'm going to want to put on out of my bag here, or not necessarily put on now, but get our Outdoor Vitals fleece. That's going to go in the sleeping bag with me. I'll clip y'all right there. Pull the anorak off. Again, some people have complained about how hard it is to put the anorak on and off. I don't find an issue with it. Now, like with my fleece, it's a pullover. Then this jacket's a zip, and that's pull over. You know, if you had to do that on and off, that would get annoying, but overall not that big of a deal. This might even go in the sleeping bag with me, just there's no reason not to. Climbing down into her sleeping bag here. Oh, hopefully all that is in frame. So yeah, the insulated jacket, it'll kind of get pushed down towards my feet. The zipper on the Snug Pack Bivy is so much better than the zipper on all the other Snug Pack stuff I've used. Like, it actually glides very easily in comparison. Yeah, we're not going to need this cap, I don't think at all. Then finally I'll put my fleece. I'm going to keep it kind of up towards my upper body so it's easy to find in the middle of the night if I need to. Here's my hood, head's in my pillow. Oh, and this sleeping bag just starts filling with heat. Oh yeah, the sensor. Here's the sensor. I think what I'm actually going to do is, because otherwise it's just going to end up in the ether of this sleeping bag if I don't put it in my pocket. Now again, because this sleeping bag doesn't have any pockets on it, so that's really the only thing I can do. I know that's going to get a little bit more body heat radiating against it. What I can do actually though is put it in my cargo pocket, and it won't really be pressed up against my body as much, but it'll still get a decent idea of what the ambient temperature of the inside of the sleeping bag is like. Square it away a bit better here. Because really the hood of the bivy is the only thing I'm a little bit like, I don't know, skeptical about in terms of its functionality. The main job is for the bivy to protect your, you know, like 95% of you, and then you still want your head out, because this thing is rated to be somewhat breathable, but like it's not breathable really. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about body condensation much at all, but as far as if you want to have your head, then you're going to get condensation to the point that you'll probably get wet. But yeah guys, that is oh, I can't tell you how comfortable this is. Between this pad and this, like, the bag and everything, it's just very comfortable. Oh, too, I realize y'all are all the way over here, so I'm sure I boosted the audio so y'all can hear me, but let's bring y'all back closer in on the equation here. So I'm going to attempt to lean this over, hit the power button, and I will talk to you fine folks in the morning. If anything eventful happens, I will be sure to let you know. So until then, a good night. Good morning guys, how's it going? Well, I am tucked away as snug as a bug in a rug, but we did get some freezing rain at some point. I kind of woke back up at like 1:30 a.m. and well, I could tell, like, I hadn't done nothing at that point. My fleece had just kind of got wadded up underneath me at that point in time, and I was a bit too warm, because like this morning looking at my temperature gauges, it looks like the kind of the coldest that we hit was like about 29 degrees. But that was just for a brief period, and it seemed like we kind of rode around, you know, more of like 30 to 32 throughout the night. And this morning, at this exact moment, it's like 33. And again, like this sleeping bag, especially with the bivy over it, it's a bit not too warm, but definitely, you know, warmer than what we needed. Like, this system, like, closed up is actually very, very warm. So having the sleeping bag kind of unzipped down to like my belly button with the bivy on top of me, again, you know, the sleeping bag's not able to fully open, so it's just a thin slit to allow some heat to vent out. That's what ended up being the most comfortable, still just being in a t-shirt. I took and when I first got up, I went ahead and threw the Outdoor Vitals fleece on so that, again, I could just have it warm for whenever I actually do finally get up. And then my insulated jacket is down around like my calves and everything. You know, feet was completely fine, didn't need to wrap them up again. This sleeping bag is very comfortable down into the mid to high teens for sure, especially with the bivy on it, if you was, you know, fully enclosed and not have to really worry about anything. But I'm assuming the rain must have come through sometime after 2 a.m. and it's not currently really raining. I can hear stuff dripping off the trees, but I unzipped just the edge of the door and looked out, and it is pretty goddamn damp and foggy. It's like, even though it's showing right now that we're sitting like 32 point something other, whenever the dampness in the air is extremely noticeable, and it's like the dampness in the air kind of makes the temperature kind of, you know, set in a little bit quicker. You know, you kind of just feel it more because of how damp the air is, like just kind of how high the humidity level is. Yeah, you just feel it more. But no leaks or nothing. Tent done great yet again. You know, it's been chilling here and doing its duty diligently. I do want the freeze dried breakfast cereal that I bought. We should have enough water to do that, and some coffee and such. And then, yeah, not doing any you know, active hunting this morning, nothing. But I did hear a deer blowing. What sounded, had to be within 100 yards. It's always good to hear, especially since it's, you know, quote unquote hunter style camp. Oh, but yeah, I want to take and just lay here a little bit longer, and we'll take and get out and get the stove and stuff going, and see about making ourselves a nice cup of coffee, as well as warming up the stuff for that breakfast cereal. So but yeah, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, or I guess by numbers we should say gentlemen and ladies, was very comfortable. I mean, this is a very borderline glamping setup, honestly. And yeah, now that it's lightened up a little bit, yeah, I can see, like, yeah, I mean, definitely no water got in, because I know for a fact it didn't rain. It couldn't have rained hard, or if it did, you know, I didn't wake up during any hard rain. Got a nice constant pitter patter, and you won't be able to hear it, I don't think, with this mic that I have on right now. But it just started raining again. So I'm glad I took, and I actually added an additional layer of waterproofing to that Pilgrim anorak, which I'm glad I did. It's going to be perfect for this type of weather, especially riding out. And all of our other stuff, you know, I ain't worried about it getting wet, because again, it's not calling for any type of heavy rain, just pitter patter. So everything is either in somewhat of a waterproof container, in like my packs. I got a rain cover for my big pack and all that, and everything's got a DWR coating on it anyways that is still in great shape. So not concerned with those small things. And if anything, I'll just wait it out, because I know that like any little bit of precipitation is supposed to probably be over with by the time we get done doing our stuff we're going to do this morning, and by the time we get the items I'm taking with me packed away. The only thing is that I realized, I do believe I left one of my leather gloves outside. And then this right here is what we're going to be having for breakfast. It's been a while since I've made one of these. So it says it only needs 3/4 cup boiling water, so we're just going to have to kind of go by sight on that one. Oh yeah, and I did. I left my glove laying out here. I just laid it down. It blends in perfectly with the leaves that are on the ground right now. To be honest, it was palm side up, and it is not extremely soaked. I mean, you can still feel the dampness and wetness on the inside, but I don't think it got extremely, again, like it just didn't get completely soaked. So dry it what little bit I can with the heat here. Our water's going to be boiling in no time for the amount that we got to do. And then we'll have on some water for coffee. I guess I don't know what the recommended rehydration time for this one is. Okay, it's still 12 to 15 minutes, so it's basically the same as all the other ones. Yeah, our water is boiling. Again, I'm gonna have to somewhat just go more visually, I think. This breakfast cereal definitely starts to soak up the water a lot faster than your average deal. I mean, it's kind of just, it's, you know, it's cereal, but again, it's kind of more like it's oatmeal consistency. And I would much rather have mine too wet than too dry for coffee. The other coffee I had with me is actually an Anchorhead coffee tea bag. Alrighty, so this right here should definitely be good and hydrated. Don't know if our coffee is it's perfect drinking temperature. Oh yeah, and right there it looks very, very good. And yeah, it's just essentially some good apple cinnamon oatmeal cereal. Well guys, that right there was another enjoyable camp. As soon as you get a bit of that caffeine and warm food in you, that's a big spirit booster right there. But yeah, really nice. I'm actually glad that we ended up getting some freezing rain, because I wanted to spend some time in that tent with in this exact type of condition. Yeah, done good. Again, the sleep system, 10 out of 10. And it is just trying to mist a little bit still, but that really shouldn't affect us much. So yeah guys, that is going to do it for this one. As always, I really appreciate y'all taking the time to hang out, watch the video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're not already, share the channel videos with friends, family, anybody that enjoys good old outdoor activities and gear. As always, I will try to link to all the stuff that I use in this video in the video description. If I missed something, feel free to ask me in the comment section, and hit me up in the comment section with thoughts, questions, opinions, whatever you feel like typing out, type of stuff you'd like to see. Lots of fun, interesting videos to come, and we're going to be hitting a fan favorite bushcraft project again very, very soon. So, you know, stay tuned for that. Make sure you got that notification bell hit. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. So, until the next one, adios.